Okay, good morning from Canada. Welcome to our bi-weekly live yoga class. I'm Joanna, if we've not met before, and I'll be guiding you for today's session. Um, Today's practice is a Hatha class for happy shoulders. So you will need some props for this practice. If you have two blocks, bring them to your mat. And if you have a strap, bring it to your mat as well. If you have a blanket or something cushion that you could put under your knees, that would be great too. If you don't have those specific yoga props to hand, then just grab things that resemble those types of props. Instead of a strap, you could use a belt or a TheraBand, or I've even used my dog's leash before. And if you don't have blocks, you could use thick books or thick cushions. Whatever you have to hand is fine. For this practice, we're going to move slowly. The Hatha style for me is anywhere between 3 to 6 breaths per movement, and if not longer in some specific asana. So the class will be slow, mindful, and give you lots of time to get familiar with the shoulders and how they're feeling today. Okay, I'll meet you on your mat. You can start in Sukhasana when you're ready. So for Sukhasana, I have elevated the pelvis with a prop. For me, that's just a more comfortable seated position. It gives a little more space for the hips and helps me to sit taller. So feel free to do the same. And I've also used my blanket as a little pad for my ankles and feet. This has been a newer addition to my seated meditation, but I'm loving it and can't believe I went so long without it. So again, feel free to do the same with that. And we'll just begin by resting our hands to our legs, wherever is most comfortable, so that we can start to engage the shoulders into a more relaxed state. And if you're comfortable, close your eyes as well, or just draw your gaze down to the floor. Begin to receive your breath. And as you receive your breath, become aware of the way you're sitting, your posture, and the current placement of your shoulders. Is there an opportunity to relax the shoulders a little more? Maybe they are a little too close to your ears. Can we create a bit more space for the neck? And how about placing your shoulder blades more to the back of your rib cage? Maybe then you might find a little more space across your collarbones and the front of your chest. And how about your arms? Can we relax the arms a little heavier and allow the hands to ground gently to the thighs without resistance? Moving through this checklist of things to do to help the shoulders might be challenging at the beginning of class, and that's very normal. We'll do these same little check-ins at the end of class to just see if there has been any difference, any shifts, perhaps in how the shoulders feel or how you're sitting, or perhaps with how you're breathing up here in the chest space? Let's find out. If you're working with any shoulder injuries or sensitivities, then please be extremely mindful in this practice. I'm not there to see you physically, so you are going to have to be your own best guide and teacher and listen to your body and back off or take it easier when things feel a little too intense or you're getting those sharp signals from the body to pause. Let's take a cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the mouth. And in through the nose and out through the mouth. One more time, in and out. And then just return to a natural, steady rhythm of breath. And start to add a little bit of movement to your fingers and to your toes. And into your wrists. And move your head gently side to side. And take a nice sweep of your arms up to the sky. Interlace your fingers, turn your palms up. Exhale, bring your chin to your chest, round your spine, press the hands forwards and breathe along the length of your spine, around your shoulder blades, and into your lower back, perhaps. Use your inhale breath to roll up through the spine. Place your hands behind your head, elbows wide. And now lift your chin and your chest to the sky, actively moving your shoulders away from your ears and moving the shoulder blades down your back of the rib cage. And then gathering your body back to center and lower your hands onto your thighs. Inhale, lift your shoulders towards your ears, and exhale, release your shoulders down your back. And again, inhale, shoulders up. Exhale, shoulders back and down. And one more cycle, up. And exhale, back and down. Take a hold of your strap. Some of you will use this. It will be a helpful tool. Some of you won't. You're going to put your right hand around the strap and extend your right arm to the sky. So the rest of the strap is dangling down the length of your spine. Take your left hand and find the bottom of that strap. And now simply start to walk your hands closer to one another along the strap. Now for some of you, your hands will connect on your back and you won't need the strap. Or for some of you, you'll gently place your hands wherever they land on the back of your head, neck, in between your shoulders or along the spine. We're lifting this right elbow as high and as far back and close to the sides of the face as we can. And we're keeping the chin and the chest slightly lifted, so we're not rounding the upper back. As we do this and lift through the chest, you also have to be mindful that you're not really arching deeply into your middle back. So gently hug your lower ribs down and in. Think about the length in the spine, a gentle engagement through your core. Stay here for 3 breaths. Relax any clenching in the jaw. On your next inhale, think about the lift up through the rib cage. And as you exhale, lean to the left, taking a gentle side body stretch. Only going as far as you need today, as far as you can maintain control and strength in your side body. So we're not collapsing into our side. There is length on both sides of our waist. The pelvis is rooting into the mat, and we're taking 3 more breaths. Use your inhale to come all the way back to center. As you exhale, bring your chin towards your chest now, rounding the spine gently, pulling the belly button towards the back. Just bowing the head in. 3 breaths. And then rolling up through the spine. Last piece here, lifting your chin and your chest towards the sky as much as you can. 3 breaths. This one is a little more challenging to get into this upper back bend and keep the arm lifted. Just do your best. And then come back to center, and we'll gently release those arms, removing the strap for a moment, placing the hands onto the thighs, and just add a little bit of movement into the shoulders, and exhale your breath. Lovely. Before we take the second side, let's use the strap in another way. So have the strap in front of you and have the strap nice and long with your hands on the strap nice and wide. We're going to be taking this strap up and over our head. For some of you, this will be enough. For others of you, as you exhale, you'll take the strap back and down behind you, adding a bit of softness to your elbows. So as you inhale, you'll lift the strap up and overhead. And then as you exhale, we'll bring the strap back down in front of you. Now, if you found that maybe you could walk your hands in a little closer to one another now, feel free. You'll just keep exploring how wide you need these arms. We're going to do 3 rounds of this. Inhale, sweep both arms up to the sky. Stay here on the exhale, or exhale, take the shoulder blades and arms back behind you, maybe lowering that strap down towards the mat. Inhale, lift the arms back up and overhead. Exhale, lower the strap in front of you. Try and keep your back exactly where it is. We're just moving the arms and shoulders. Inhale, lift the arms up. Maybe stay here on the exhale, or exhale, take the shoulders and arms behind you. Inhale, lifting the arms back up. And then exhale, bringing the arms down in front of us. One last time, maybe you walk your hands in slightly. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Stay here, or exhale, take the arms back and down behind you. Inhale, bring the arms up. Exhale, lower the arms forwards and down. Release your strap. Take a big inhale. Take a big exhale. Let's take the strap into our left hand. Take the left hand up to the sky. Dangle the rest of the strap behind your back. Take your right hand to the bottom of the strap and start to walk the hands closer to one another, or remove the strap and simply use your hands for this. Find your posture, lifting tall through the chest, bringing this left arm more back and up and in. Hug the lower ribs in. Relax the shoulders down and take 3 breaths. On your next inhale breath, lift a little taller through the chest. And as you exhale, lean to the right. Breathing into the left side of your body, but staying lifted through the right side as well. Use your inhale to come back to center. Exhale in, folding forwards a little. And breathing for 3 breaths down the spine. Inhale, rolling all the way up. Last piece, lifting your head, your chin, your chest to the sky. Left elbow back. 3 breaths. And then we're bringing our whole body back to center, and we're slowly releasing the strap and that position for our arms. Give your shoulders a little bit of love. Exhale your breath. Enjoy that initial mobility work, and just take note of how you're feeling. From here, we're going to move on to our hands and knees. So this is where the padding might be useful under your knees. So see how that goes. If you don't need it, then you can simply place your knees directly onto your mat. So you'll want to check in that your knees are underneath your hips and your hands are underneath your shoulders. This is our starting position of tabletop. Begin to just rock your hips side to side so you can bring a little movement and fluidity into the lower body. Like with any yoga practice, even if it's focusing on one specific area of the body, we know that everything is interconnected, so we need to make sure we show love to all parts of ourselves in every class. And then return to a neutral spine. Let's take cat-cow together. Inhale, tilt your tailbone towards the sky. Soften your belly towards the earth. Lift your chin and your chest. And then exhale, draw your tail under your body, round your spine, and begin to look to your belly button. 2 more. Inhale, forwards and up. Keep the elbows soft as you do this. And exhale, rounding the spine. Last one, inhale forwards and up, heart to the sky. Exhale to round the back. Come back to a neutral spine and inhale the right arm into the sky, opening the chest to the right. Exhale, take your right arm under your left arm and lower your right ear and shoulder directly onto the mat. Or if the mat feels quite far away, you could always put a block or 2 under your shoulder and ear. You can keep rooting down through this left hand as you turn your chest more to the left. Or you might try walking your left fingertips forwards and long, and maybe slightly over to the right side of your mat. That might feel good. Or maybe you'll reach your left arm into the sky, opening the chest a little more. Perhaps even wrapping your left hand onto your lower back or all the way around to your right hip crease. Let's take 5 breaths. Begin to place your left hand back onto the mat. Press down into that left hand and come all the way up to tabletop position and exhale your breath. Perhaps rocking gently side to side. Exhaling your breath. And before we take the other side, we're going to tuck the toes and we're going to sit our pelvis back to our heels. From here, you'll walk your hands towards your legs, maybe up the thighs so you're sitting upright. This is a toe stretch. If at any time this feels too much, you can always untuck your toes or you can always sit up and off the heels. Inhale both arms wide into a T. Exhale, wrap your right arm over your left arm and hug your shoulder blades, keeping the elbows lifted. Or wrap your forearms together and connect your hands, elbows lifted, eagle arms. Bring your chin towards your chest. And let's take 3 breaths around the shoulder blades and into any stickiness around the shoulders. Unravel your arms, hands onto the mat, untuck your toes, and paddle the tops of your feet into the floor. Exhale your breath and reset your body in tabletop position. Inhale that left arm into the sky. Exhale, left arm under the right arm, lowering your left ear and shoulder either directly onto the mat, or maybe you find 1 or 2 of your blocks to support your shoulder and your head. Your right hand can stay exactly where it is or walk forwards to the front of the mat. Maybe slightly over to the left. Or you might take this right arm into the sky, maybe wrap the right hand onto your lower back or around to your left hip. Try and keep your waist long on both sides. And breathe 5 breaths into any sticky webbing between your shoulder blades. Guide your right hand back onto the mat. Come all the way up to tabletop and pour your exhale breath into your mat. Move around a little bit, side to side, through the hips, waist, and rib cage. And then return to tucking your toes. I know. We have 1 more cycle of our toe stretch. Pelvis is pressing into the heels, hands are walking up the thighs, spine is tall. Remember, you can always untuck your toes. You can always come up and off your heels. Inhale both arms into a T. Exhale the left arm over the right arm and hold your shoulder blades, elbows up. Or wrap the forearms together and connect the hands, elbows up. Everybody's chin comes to the chest. Hug your lower ribs in so we're not arching through that middle back again. And breathe 3 breaths around your lovely shoulders. Unravel your arms, hands onto the mat, untuck your toes, and just paddle the tops of your feet into the floor again. Maybe a nice big exhale breath, maybe some rolls of your ankles. Lovely. From here, float your right leg into the sky, and then hug your right knee to your chest and step your right foot between your 2 hands. Draw your body forward slightly so you're in a lunge. Your back toes can be tucked or untucked. Your fingertips can be on the mat, or you could put your hands to your blocks. We're going to inhale and sweep our right arm into the sky. As you exhale, take the right arm back behind you and all the way down the side of your body. As you inhale, take the right arm forwards and back up to the sky. Continue this. The exhale is on the downward movement. The inhale is on the upward movement. And feel free to follow your right hand with your gaze. Keep a soft bend in your left elbow, so you are not locking that left arm. Let's take 2 more of these big circles, lubricating the shoulder. And then placing your blocks to one side and pressing back into downward facing dog to help with strengthening the shoulders. So finding your feet hip distance apart, your hands shoulder distance apart. Keep a softness through the knees, hugging the heels towards the mat. Moving your shoulder blades away from the back of your neck. A little softness through your elbows. Head relaxed, belly button pulled in. Take 3 breaths. Now, either in down dog or bringing your knees to the floor, what would it feel like to bend your elbows and try and place your forearms to the mat? Maybe you will, maybe you won't, but give it a go. Bend into those elbows and then lengthen the arms once again. 2 more. Bend the elbows, forearms getting closer to the mat, and then lengthen the arms. 1 more time. Bend and lengthen. If you're not already on your knees, come to your knees. Inhale your left leg into the sky. Exhale, left knee to chest. Step the left foot forwards. Fingertips to the mat, or once again, bring your blocks underneath your hands at any height. Bringing your pelvis a little more forwards. A gentle squeeze through your inner legs. Keep the right hand down and float the left arm up on your inhale breath. As you exhale, take the left arm back behind you, all the way down the side of your body. As you inhale, float the left arm forwards and back up to the sky. And again, all the way back behind you, down by your side, and all the way forwards and up. Let's take 3 more of these, lubricating the shoulder, becoming more familiar with a range of motion. 1 more cycle, moving breath and movement together. And then placing your hands onto your mat, removing your blocks, coming back into your downward facing dog, and taking 3 breaths. And once again, with either the knees to the mat or the knees raised, let's bend our elbows and imagine our forearms getting closer or even touching the floor. And again, bending the elbows and lengthening the arms. One more cycle, bend and lengthen. Come down onto your hands and knees if you're not already. And then come around to a seat. Bring your blocks with you. Some of you are going to use this for our next recline position for the shoulders too. So we're going to set up 2 blocks. The bottom one is for in between the shoulder blades, and the top one is for the back of the head. You can have them at this height, or you could lower them a height if you prefer not to be so high. Or if this doesn't feel good today, then you can always remove these props, or you could try rolling a blanket under the spine instead of a firm block. I don't advise you do this if you're using books. It will be way too challenging and way too firm. So either foam blocks, cushions, or blankets. So you'll set up the props at the back of your mat. If you have some lower back sensitivity, you might place the blanket underneath your pelvis for a little bit of extra height. You're going to come down onto your elbows and forearms and locate the first block underneath you. Check that it's along the length of the spine and in between the shoulder blades, so no lower, no higher. After that, you'll find your second block and rest the back of the head to it. And feel free to adjust the height of the second block, especially if you feel like the back of your neck is getting crunched. We want to have a long neck on all sides. Once you're in this reclined position, make any adjustments you need to your props. For your legs, feel free to connect the soles of your feet together and take the knees wide for butterfly pose. Or feel free to have your feet as wide as your mat and your knees resting into one another as a lower back release, perhaps. Or third option is to have your legs long and wide like you're in Shavasana. So pick what you need for your legs first. And then hands can either rest on lower belly or rib cage, elbows relaxed to the floor. Or you could open your arms wide across the mat with your palms facing up. Relaxing those shoulders and inviting space and breath into the front of your body. Close your eyes, maybe add an eye pillow. Now feel free to stay still here, or if it feels good, you could add some movement. So how would it feel to roll your shoulders up, back and down, massaging your shoulders against your prop? Or how would it feel to put your hands on your shoulders and circle your elbows? Or perhaps floating your long arms all the way up to the sky and all the way back behind you. And then exhaling the arms wide and down by your sides. Continuing like this for as many cycles as you like. If anywhere along any of these moving pathways you feel like taking a pause, you find a really sweet spot for the body to breathe into, then enjoy that. Take that time and space. And we'll take 5 more breaths here. After your 5 breaths, you can bring your hands to the outsides of your legs if you're in butterfly. Just carefully bring the knees together. If your legs are straight, bend the knees, put the feet to the mat. You'll either want to lift yourself all the way up using your core, or roll to one side just so that you can remove the props that are underneath you. And try and do this with as little effort as possible. If you feel like you need to keep a prop for the back of the head, no problem, especially if you have any dizziness, vertigo. A prop behind the head, having the head slightly lifted might be just what you need. And then return to your back, maybe adding a blanket, maybe adding an eye pillow. And just making yourself as comfortable and cozy as you can for your Shavasana. And enjoying any quality of spaciousness and widening of breath into the back of your shoulders and rib cage. This is your time now to relax and unwind and to dissolve any final residing tightness or tension from the shoulders. Move it away from your body, down into the mat, down into the earth. Perhaps taking a cleansing exhale as you finally land. And I will call you from Shavasana when it's time. Until then, there is no more to do. If you have more time and space to dedicate to your Shavasana today, then please stay as you are. If, however, it's time for you to come out, you can begin to just add some gentle movement into your fingers and toes, and into your wrists and ankles. Take a nice full body stretch as you inhale, and hug your knees to your chest as you exhale. And gently rock across your back until you're ready to roll to your side. And then you can slowly make your way up to Sukhasana, or tall seat, thinking about your posture, and thinking about the placement of your shoulders. Observing how it feels now to land the shoulder blades on the back of your rib cage, to widen your collarbones, and to create more space between your ears and your shoulders. And consider how breath is moving in the upper region of your chest and around the back of your rib cage where your shoulder blades are sitting. Hold on to any feelings of spaciousness, length, better posture as you move through the rest of your day. One sealing breath together, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Thank you so much for your time. It's my pleasure to guide you. Namaste.